Good day to you, America. Today's show topics include, the hypocrisy, profiles in history, who said that, and more. So, sit back, buckle up, and hang on because we are just getting started.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny.
You know what time it is, so sit back and get ready for the Stafford Voice, your dose of conservative in a world of liberal.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, how you doing? I'm your host, Daniel Stafford, and you are listening to the Stafford Voice, where we are conservative in a world of liberal. And look, I want to remind you there are many ways to listen. So, set this channel as a favorite, whatever you have to do so you don't get left behind, because if for some strange, crazy reason you miss the show, sit tight, you'll be able to catch the replay. There is absolutely no need to panic because, hey, I've got you. And in the case you aren't already following on social media, you can find me over on Twitter or Gab at Stafford Voice. Or you can look me up on Grassfire, Facebook, Instagram, any other social site of your choosing. Wherever you are, just search for the Stafford Voice, and, well, we're probably there. Now, also, since you'll be out on the interwebs, do me a favor. If you have not already done so, at some point, head over to thestaffordvoice.com and sign up for our monthly newsletter. I will be getting ready to start on the March newsletter. I'm excited about some stuff that we'll be putting in there to share with you guys. So, yeah, do yourself and myself a favor. Head over to thestaffordvoice.com, sign up for our monthly newsletter. We promise we will not spam your inbox. It's the last thing I want to do. Trust me, I get tons of crap sent to my inbox day in and day out. I think I spend at least an hour getting rid of spam and junk and stuff that I tried to get rid of and unsubscribed to, and I still continue to see it. I don't know what the deal is. If you've got any tips or tricks, send them my way, because I'm getting tired of all of the junk that winds up in my inbox. Yeah, let's start here. Let's, by the way, if you're in the chat room, whether you're on the YouTube or you're over on klrnradio.com/chat, or you're on the Listen Live page over at thestaffordvoice.com, do me a favor. Sound off. Let me know that you're there. I want to know who's watching, who's listening. Army John has joined us in the chat. He says he wants to know if I am the Sanford and Son of email. But no, I mean, I try and get to inbox zero, that whole idea of, keeping your inbox close to having nothing sitting there. And it's been probably 3 weeks since I've gone through and cleared out some stuff that I don't need to sit on anymore. I absolutely can't stand having a trashed out I can't stand having a trashed out inbox. I'm super my emails are super organized, and I categorize them in such a fashion that I can immediately go back to something when needed. John is now quoting Sanford and Son. "It's the big one. I'm coming to join you, Elizabeth." Anyway, junk mail in the inbox is sand in your weapon. It is exactly true, John. Exactly true. You know what? John, call me out. By the end of the week, I want you to ask me if I've cleaned out my inbox. I want you I want you to keep me on top of that one. Call me out. You can trash talk me all you want on social media. I will get it there. I promise. Now, before we get into our first topic, I want to catch you up on a couple of things that are going on in the life. Inbox taping, yes. And this kind of goes along with that. So bear with me. A couple of weeks ago, I guess you could say I got called out, but I was calling somebody else out. I was calling out Slick. I saw a tweet that he was responding to with a YouTuber down in Texas. And he does this thing called summer shredding. And he's a fitness guy. He does physique competitions. And every summer, he does this thing called summer shredding. And he has invited people to do it along with him. He doesn't put a program together or anything like that. He just, he goes about sharing his progress of where he starts. A YouTuber in Texas sounds serious. Well, sorry, I can't reach. I got this spot on my back I can't reach. I got to itch it. Anyway, by the way, the best $2.99 I ever spent at Target was a toilet bowl brush. And the best life hack that I have done so far, and that was buying one of those and using it as a back scratcher. Oh, it's phenomenal. Anyway, okay, so back to talking about taping. I'm not completely entirely out of shape, but I've got some work to do. And trust me, I'm going to work on it. And I'm going to share my journey with you guys along with the YouTuber down in Texas. And believe it or not, Slick the cat has joined us here in the studio. Now, Slick, because I kind of called him out, he is going to be sharing his journey as well about getting back in shape. So this is consider this as me calling the rest of you out. Follow along the journey. No, it's not a Tough Mudder. I would love to do a Tough Mudder. I've actually been invited to go do a couple of those types of things, and it just has always conflicted with my schedule. I basically need to figure out, I need to put it down on a calendar so I can work everything else around it and work towards it. I don't know how that would work later on this year or what, but I really do want to do one. I think I can do one. Anyway, so I will be recording and sharing along with you my progress. Let me see. I think at the start of, John says, never trust fitness YouTube experts. You might end up with a nasopharyngeal airway in the wrong. Wow. You could, but back in the day, look, probably, what was it? 8 to 10 years ago, I did a couple of powerlifting competitions. I held a couple of Kansas state records. Nothing to really write home to your parents about. But nonetheless, I was really proud of myself and proud that I stuck with something. I do it on my own. Let me see. We've got a new friend with us tonight, GJ Refill. I've chatted with him a couple of times over on the Twitters. It's nice that you've joined us. He says, "Hi, I'm new here and was told this is where the free Viagra is at." No, there's no free Viagra, but later on, probably the halfway... Thanks, John. But later on in the show, if you've got some cookies, join me. I got to get rid of these cookies, because I will be starting the diet hardcore here. Just push-ups. No, I'm not repeating that, John. I'm not repeating that. So starting the diet. You're not. No, because you're going along. You're going to do it with me. You're not going to. You don't have to get as hardcore. My wife Roxanne says that she's going to eat all the cookies by herself. That's not going to happen. I will help all the way up until, let's see, Viagra cookies are over on Jason's According to Me channel. That's true. Anyway, I got to stay on topic. John, you're killing me, Smalls. Okay? Anyway, if you haven't done so, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We will be documenting our journey about this whole idea of summer shredding thing. Follow along with me as I get back into shape. Also, if you've missed a couple of our last vlogs, then let me tell you, we will be increasing some of the content that comes out on the YouTubes. So you will want to make sure you follow along over there. It is a refill. I'm going to tell you, it is a rough time, especially with Girl Scout cookies. They are in season. I've gone through personally 2.5 boxes, 1 box of Thin Mints, 1 box of what are the Samoa, is that what they are? The Samoas with the caramel and the coconut? Samoas are my weakness, but they've got these new cookies. They're s'mores. They're good. They need to either increase the amount of marshmallow that they put in or take away some of the cookie that's inside. I think there's too much cookie to chocolate / marshmallow ratio. So if you if you haven't tried the s'mores ones, trust me on this, top notch. Anyway, so we're going to be increasing the content we put out over on the YouTubes with a project that I am dubbing Project X. So you'll be able to see the ins and the outs and the struggles about growing Project X per se. I will share as much as I can without divulging everything, at least until it's completed. Follow along with that. Oh, yes, I had, I may have had half a box of those. I think my wife ate the rest of those. Anyway, those are really good. I hope that those stick around because they've got a winner with those. Kind of like the Bigger Loser format. John, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to put it together and how I'm going to fit it all in. But again, I'm going to get out of my comfort zone. I'm going to really open up a lot more about things. So you'll see. That's all I can say. You'll see. I don't really know the format of how I want to put it all together. Anyway, we really need to get on with the rest of the show, because if anybody comes back to watch the replay, they're going to be really confused, because we do talk about politics and current events. Now they have Thin Mint cereal. Ice cream. Okay, that's ridiculous. That's overboard. I will not do the Thin Mint cereal. I'm not going to do it. I can't. No. Refill, you didn't have to do this to me. Now, I'm not doing it. No. I was going to make a... No. Not doing it. Anyway, thanks for letting me know about that one. Let's see, John, you guys are... Okay, if you're in the chat, sound off with your favorite cereal of all time. Your favorite cereal of all time. I want to know. I'll share with you mine. Mine is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I can eat any size box of it. You know the old family size box where it could feed like a family of 10 that fix normal size bowls? Anyway, My mother used to have this big, huge mixing bowl that she would mix her, around Thanksgiving when she would make yeast rolls. She would use it. Well, that's what I use for a cereal bowl. Anyway, when you have a profile like you, striker vest plates, or wearing a t-shirt. Okay, John says Kix cereal. You know, my second favorite is Captain Crunch All Berries. Refill says he's torn between Lucky Charms and Frosted Flakes. He says he's going to go with Lucky Charms. You know, Frosted Flakes I'm going to have to put in the top 5. I recently tried... This is like a complete off-the-wall variety show tonight. Anyway, I tried the cinnamon Frosted Flakes, and I was not impressed. Was not impressed at all. Okay, we've got to get on. We've got to at least talk about some stuff. We've talked for almost 20 minutes about just life. Anyway, our first topic is, the hypocrisy, and Refill, I think this one comes by way of you. Look, the media is full of hypocrites. I mean, okay, so where am I going with this? Let's travel back in time. Jump in your TARDIS and let's travel back to 2009 when Obama's communications director, Anita Dunn, gave an interview to the New York Times, which she proclaimed the Obama administration had adopted as policy that Fox News was quote-unquote fake news. Now, I'm using the term fake news because it falls in line with the things that we're seeing and hearing today. Well, let's see. The headline was basically Fox's volley with Obama and how it was intensifying. Ironically, the person that wrote that article was current CNN host and Trump critic Brian Stelter. Now, in his article, he says, attacking the news media is a time-honored White House tactic, but to an unusual degree, the Obama administration has narrowed its sights to one specific organization, the Fox News Channel, calling it, in essence, part of the political opposition. Quote, now this quote comes by way of Anita Dunn. Again, she was at the time the White House communications director. Now this is back from 2009. Quote, we're going to treat them the way we would treat an opponent, as they are undertaking a war against Barack Obama and the White House. We don't need to pretend that this is the way that legitimate news organizations behave. Now, let's break that down just a little bit. A liberal person saying that they're going to treat a news organization as an opponent who is undertaking a war, which sounds really bad. But, you really have to understand how the lamestream media does things. Where, how does lamestream media do things? So if, for instance, you have something that says, so initially reported there's a couple of hundred people at this rally. We'll say 500 people at a rally. Now it goes to a senior editor, and the senior editor kicks it back and says, now you need to change this. It doesn't sound like there's a lot of people. So they go back and they rewrite the headline to scores of people show up in support of Obama. Because scores sounds bigger than hundreds or thousands or tons. We're scores of people. Oh, that's how these media outlets spin stuff, and we all know it. They're hacks. It's really sad. So, again, you compare and contrast, and there's absolutely no difference whatsoever in what is going on. The America left are really Daleks disguised as humans. Doctor Who reference for you there, Refill, by way of John. Exterminate. Anyway, I probably shouldn't say that when we're talking about the things that we're talking about. As an English major, this topic is fascinating. Words very much so matter. They do. We've broken many things down and dissected them, and that's kind of what I wanted to do with this, and that is how hypocritical the liberal elite media thinks that they are when it comes to reporting on things. Especially when it comes to Trump. Trump doesn't want to take questions from CNN or any other particular news organizations. It was right on the tip of my tongue, and I don't remember who he was talking about. Or who he has kind of said he's not going to take any questions from. But Obama's done the same thing, and the mainstream media is not going to report on it. They don't want to, because it calls themselves out. They don't want to be called out. They don't like it. Nobody likes being called out. Me, I don't bother. It doesn't bother me. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll tell you. I will admit it, and I'll go back and look at what I thought were the facts, and I will change my tune if necessary. If I get something wrong, I'll admit it. I have at times asked people to call me out. Just earlier, I asked John in the chat to keep me accountable on my inbox, because it's getting ridiculous, and I haven't cleaned it out in weeks. Anyway, look, the media thinks that they're in charge, and they're not. End of discussion. If Trump doesn't want to take a question from somebody, he doesn't have to. Obama didn't want to take questions from Fox News because, well, it was a different opinion than what his was. And he was praised for it. I mean, did the standards for media change when Trump went into office? No. That's not how this works. That's not how any of it works. Anyway. That's that. Yes, Obama Christ superstar, according to John. And look, hold the media accountable at all costs. No matter what, hold them accountable. If you see that they're reporting something skewed, call them on it. Do yourself and everyone else the favor. Anyway, you know what? We're gonna move on. We all know that the media thinks that they're untouchable, that they can do and say whatever they want, and you have to believe them because, well, they're the media, and they think that they're the fourth arm of government, which we know they're not. They are people, who think that they're on par with the rest of Washington, which they're not. The strongest, most powerful arm of government is the unwritten arm, and that is we the people. I think at the top of the document it even says that. Okay, where are we at? I tell you what, let's do this. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Trump, how Trump is going to address a joint session of Congress for the first time, and we're also going to give you an update on the VA, and then later on we will have our profiles in history. So I tell you what, we're going to go take a quick break, and when we come back, we will talk about Donald Trump's first address to a joint session of Congress. We'll be right back.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Nothing will protect you quite like your sidearm, so why not give it the protection it deserves? Something as strong as the Second Amendment and stands the test of time, and better yet, made in the USA. A Rebel Road Tactical Custom Kydex holster is that and more. Call now and place your order with Rebel Road Tactical at 682-217-4579. Again, 682-217-4579, or online at rebelroadtactical.com.
Conservative in a world of liberal.
The Stafford Voice.
All right, we are back, and we are talking about right now. We're going to talk about President Trump's first address to a joint session of Congress. Now, I will. By the way, it is nice to finally see Slick and Tina. Look, it's nice to see that Slick and Tina finally made the show. Slick, I hope you're feeling better. I don't want you guys to be sick. Hopefully you're on the up instead of going back down. Slick is the mastermind behind Rebel Road Tactical, which you just heard about. And yes, Refill noticed it got that Crazy Good Eats logo up. And look, let me tell you a thing about Crazy Good Eats. Here's the thing with them. They're more than just a restaurant. You remember that old show, Cheers, where everybody knows your name? You walk in, they know who you are. That's exactly what it is when you how it is when you walk into Crazy Good Eats. I can't say enough good things about the owners and everybody else who works there. I mean, they all know our names. They treat us like family, and bingo, you got me. On top of it, the food is incredible. I mean, it is. Listen, they call it Crazy Good Eats for a reason, because it is crazy good. It's crazy good every single bite. Their beans are phenomenal. I mean, within the first week or two of them opening in Kansas City, they were voted #1 beans. So if that tells you anything, the quality of food and stuff that they have, listen, I don't care where you are. If you make it to Kansas City, look me up. I will take you to Crazy Good Eats. I will drop whatever I'm doing. Their food is that good. Okay. Wish we lived there so you could try it. Tina, I'm telling you, you guys would want to eat there all the time. And yes, Refill. Trust me when I say this. I'm craving some barbecue right now. They are not open on Mondays. It kills me because, trust me, I would love to have a pre-show meal prepared by Crazy Good Eats. And I need to talk to the owners about this. We got to hash something out. Anyway, let's talk about, let me give you some of the facts in case you're interested in watching or listening. This will happen on Tuesday night, 9 p.m. I'm assuming Eastern. That's pretty much how everybody reports things. 9 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday, February 28th. Again, you can find all this stuff on the whitehouse.gov/blog. Trump is going to be speaking to a joint session of Congress. Let me see. This comes straight from their website. President Trump is keeping the tradition of previous presidents by delivering a formal address to a joint session of Congress during his inaugural year. Will deliver his first State of the Union address in 2018. He'll deliver the speech from the speaker's rostrum. They tell you how you can participate in watching and listening. They're going to stream it live on whitehouse.gov. What do they call a group of baboons? I already know this. I'm not going to ruin it for anybody else because he'll be addressing them. Anyway. Tina. Bing, 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 bing. You're the big winner. Okay. Let's see. You can follow along on Twitter at White House and at POTUS. Let's see. They're really trying to hype up what Trump has, quote-unquote, already done. Anyway, so we will have to keep you posted. I will, as you guys know, Tuesday night is date night with my lovely bride of almost 20 years. So I won't be watching. I'll watch a replay of it. Anyway, so let's switch gears. And let me make sure I get the right stuff up here. Okay, so a federal court is hearing arguments in Phoenix about the VA scandal lawsuit. Here's the thing. It's a problem. We all know this, that the Phoenix VA scandal that went down a few years back is finally making it to federal court. They're saying that government officials are alleged to have falsified data to hide how long veterans were waiting to see doctors at VA hospitals. The arguments that were delivered today one of which concerned a medical malpractice lawsuit against the U.S. government. The suit claims that the Veteran Affairs Medical Center in Arizona denied access to care and failed to diagnose a military veteran with advanced stage prostate cancer. John is now asking another silly question. What do you get when you cross a pilgrim with a Democrat? Answer: a God-fearing tax collector who gives thanks for what other people have. Slick, I can't repeat your answer. Yes, I think you got the wrong joke. Okay, so back to their arguments. So the plaintiff, Stephen Cooper, served in the Army for nearly 2 decades. The complaint says the plaintiff sought treatment at the Carl T. Hayden VA Medical Center. He allegedly had difficulty being seen by a doctor, and appointments were often rescheduled or canceled. By the time he actually saw a doctor, he was diagnosed with terminal cancer. The scheduling chaos at the VA has been criticized for years. Some patients are still not able to get timely specialist appointments after massive reform efforts. A report from the Officer of the Inspector General just a few months ago states years after Phoenix became the hub of a nationwide VA scandal, clerks and administrators remain confused and in conflict about scheduling policies. More hearings over the lawsuit will continue throughout the week. Okay. You guys know how important the veterans are. You guys know how you guys know what they mean to me. And this crap pisses me off to no end. I almost don't even want to talk about the VA stuff anymore because I'm getting sick and tired of seeing it and reading it and digging into it. But It needs to be, because there's so many other organizations that should be talking about this stuff, but don't. They have such a larger audience, and we could have finally gotten to the bottom of this, but years, how many years have we been waiting, talking about ideas and throwing money at decorations? We've reported on this time after time after time, and yet we still can't figure out a policy or a system to put in place so people don't get confused. Seriously, if you're confused at your damn job, take a hike. Go live off the government, you nimwad. Oh my gosh. How in the hell do you get confused by trying to schedule somebody for an appointment? You look at the books and you say, sorry, Specialist Jones, we can't see you on that day. How about we wait and push you to 3 days after, if that fits your schedule? It pisses me off. And I know it pisses you guys off too. And excuse my language, I don't normally talk like this. I want to echo something that John says in the chat, in the YouTube chat. Every vet has written the U.S. government a blank check up to and including their life. Then the government bounces the check. And I have to agree, it just plain hurts. Now, Slick, I'm all for throat punching somebody, but I don't think a throat punch is quite adequate enough. Maybe they just need a straight punch to the face, or a mule kick to the chest. I get so tired of stories like this. I mean, this guy has advanced stage prostate cancer. Because we couldn't have seen him earlier. Could we have prevented some of this? Maybe. But we don't know because we didn't bother to put in the time or effort to do it. It's very sad. Tell you what. We're going to take one final break. And when we come back, your favorite segment and mine, Profiles in History. Also, if you haven't sounded off in the chat room on the YouTubes or at klrnradio.com/chat, do me a favor, sound off. Let me know you're watching or listening. I want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk with you. We've had some good discussion tonight, if I do say so myself. Okay, I agree. Let me see. Yep, I got one of these little Fitbit things. I got a heck of a deal on it, and it's telling me my heart rate is going up and up and up. So we need to bring it down a little bit because it is getting kind of late. So here's the deal. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will do Profiles in History. And, believe it or not, we are bringing back Who Said That? So stay tuned. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Conservative in a world of liberal.
The Stafford Voice.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Now, John's got another trivia question. What do you get when you offer a liberal a penny for his thoughts? You get to keep the penny because liberals can't form a thought? I mean, that's my answer. Slick says ripped off. It ain't worth a penny. Slick wants to know about the Fitbit. Yeah, I got one of them little Fitbits. It tells me, how... The answer is change. I don't know why I didn't see that one coming. Anyway, Slick, I told you I am going all in on this summer shredding thing, and I'm excited, and I know you are. Quick poll: should we buy a box of Thin Mint cereals? Here's a hint: the answer is yes. Oh, refill! You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. I tell you what, babe, put a box of Thin Mint cereal on the list for the store, and I'll put it in the vlog. I'm only doing this for the audience. They're asking, and I have to respond. No. See, here's the thing with summer shredding. Summer shredding doesn't start until next Monday, March. Let's see, 3rd, 4th, 6th, 5th. March starts Sunday. Do they make a Captain Crunch cookie? Oh, that's a good idea. That's what we should do. We need to come up with a business venture on turning cereals into cookies. What do you think? Roxanne's looking it up. I'm super excited. I haven't been something excited. Thanks for tempting me with all that Crazy Good Eats talk. Look, I tell you what. If we don't go to Crazy Good Eats for date night, I will definitely go on Friday so I can get the Cuban. I am getting the death stare from my wife right now. She did not like that idea. She likes the Cuban just as much as I do. I do know where you were, and that's what I'll wind up probably doing, is getting some to go and dropping one off for you. John, I can't handle all the trivia questions. What is the liberal doing when he holds his hands tightly over his ears? I don't know. Anyway, we've got to get on with the show, John. Here, let's just do this. I'm not going to wait for your answer. We're moving on. John, we're moving on. Profiles in history. He is quoted as thinking independence was, quote, the most vain, empty, shallow, and ridiculous project. He would, however, change his mind. Philip Livingston was born on January 15, 1716, in Albany, New York. He came from a rather wealthy family, and following their pattern, he attended Yale College. Like his brother Peter, he too found himself in the mercantile and importation business. On April 14, 1740, he married Christina Tenbrook, and together they would have 5 sons and 3 daughters. He jumped into the ring of politics as an alderman in New York City, helping found the New York City Library and King's College, now known as Columbia University. In 1759, he stepped up to represent New York City in the Colonial Assembly. Because of his importation business, he had a lot of possessions that could have been taxed, of which he resented Great Britain's taxing policies. Now, in 1764, he lit into New York's royal lieutenant governor, telling him, quote, "We hope your honor will join with us in an endeavor to secure that great badge of English liberty of being taxed only with our own consent." Now, Whigs gained control of the New York colonial legislature in 1768, and Livingston was named Speaker, where he pushed for the rights of the colonists versus Britain. The royal governor didn't like this, so he dissolved the assembly at the end of the year, and the 1769 election, however, put the Loyalist Tories into power. Thus, Livingston was not seated by the majority. He did spend a few years starting the New York City Chamber of Commerce and the city's first hospital. Now, his idea of the Sons of Liberty was that they were just a little too radical. Funny when you consider that he was radical enough to serve in the Continental Congress as a delegate from New York. He thought independence was dangerous, which didn't sit all too well with John Adams. In August 1774, Adams wrote of him saying, quote, "There is no holding any conversation with him. He blusters away. Says if England should turn us adrift, we should instantly go to civil wars among ourselves to determine which colony should govern all the rest." Livingston missed the vote for independence, which didn't matter too much, seeing New York delegates had to abstain anyway. But he did get there in time to sign the Declaration of Independence on August 2nd, 1776. Just weeks later, disaster dodged him after the Continental defeat at the Battle of Long Island, the colony's first major battle as a new nation. On August 27th, George Washington retreated to Brooklyn, where he and his officers held a brief war conference at Livingston's home. The British were moving toward New York, and everyone decided to evacuate. Livingston's family fled north along the Hudson River to the small city of Kinston. The British seized Livingston's two homes, turning one into a hospital and the other into a barracks. Livingston continued to serve in Congress and in local and state government. Under the state's new constitution, he was chosen as a state senator. As the Sixth Continental Congress approached, Livingston's health began to fail. The state of the war was critical, but the tide was beginning to turn to the Americans, even though the British had taken Philadelphia and Congress having just fled to York, Pennsylvania. With his son Henry at his side on June 12, 1778, Philip Livingston passed away from congestive heart failure at the age of 62. And that is this week's Profiles in History. Oh, I absolutely love Profiles in History. It's one of these days we just need to. I may do it with one of these guys, but I have skipped over a couple of them because there is so much information to go through with some of these guys, like Ben Franklin and John Hancock, and there's some guys out there that just require a lot more time and effort, and we may just have to devote probably 20 or 30 minutes, maybe half the show, to one of those guys, and really dissect what their lives were all about and some of their accomplishments. Anyway, check this out. I'm telling you, where did it go? Here it is. That's right. It is back, ladies and gentlemen. By that sound, Who Said That is back. If you are unfamiliar with the segment called Who Said That, it is the last and final thing we do before we wrap up, send it off to the big guys, and, well, perform our little after the show. Anyway, listen, if Refill says his favorite historical figure is Ben Dover. Oh, yes, John, I told you guys, we talked about this. Who Said That is back. And listen, if you guys, this part of this, I want this part of the show to be yours. what I want you guys to do is, by the end of at least give me a couple of hours to go through all the submissions and figure out which one is worthy of the Who Said That. But what I want you guys to do is, on Twitter and Facebook and various other social media networks, send me a link of what you think is worthy. I'll take a look, and it is listener submitted. Now, this week, I kind of had to do a little digging. I didn't get any submissions. Again, this is the first time we're bringing it. This is the first time that we've brought it back from putting it on the archives in hopes of trying to figure out a better way to do this. But so far, this is what I've got. I'm still working out some of the details on how I want to be able to do this. But for now, submit to me what you would like, what you think is worthy for a Who Said That. Now, this week, I'm just going to let this person say it. Here you go.
You know, there's one place that all the people with the greatest potential are gathered. One place. And that's the graveyard. People ask me all the time, what kind of stories do you want to tell? And I say, exhume those bodies. Exhume those stories. The stories of the people who dreamed big and never saw those dreams to fruition. People who fell in love and lost. I became an artist, and thank God I did, because we are the only profession that celebrates what it means to live a life.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's a beautiful load of crap. She's glad she became an actor because yes, refill, you got it. Viola Davis, liberal lunatic, Hollywood freak herself. Listen. BS. I'm calling BS because here you go. You get up on your damn soapbox and you think that you're holier than thou, that you're thankful you became an actress because you're living life. You know what? Here's an idea. Go to your local Planned Parenthood. That's the graveyard. That's the real graveyard. Those are the stories that need to be told. The ones that never get to make it. Those are the ones that could have cured cancer. The ones that could have finally found how to fix the VA, the broken VA system. Living life. I was... Viola Davis, congratulations. You have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are completely and utterly stuck on stupid. Oh, my word. And judging by that tone that we heard just a second ago, unfortunately, that is all the time we have for this week. Now, stay tuned for the After the Show. But, God willing, the Stafford Voice, I, your host, Daniel Stafford, will be back next week. You can follow me on Twitter or Gab at Stafford Voice. Look me up on Facebook, Grassfire, Instagram, wherever you are, by searching for the Stafford Voice. If you haven't done so, sign up for our newsletter, thestaffordvoice.com. Just either at the top or bottom right-hand corner of the screen. The form will be there. It's really simple. I promise I'm not going to spam your inbox. It's good stuff. It's stuff that you don't get anywhere else. If you have if you have questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to email me at the staffordvoice@gmail.com. Again, email address for the show is the staffordvoice@gmail.com. And look, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your time. And until next week, thanks and God bless.